Welcome to Allie's Attic Show, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a female rapper who currently resides in Baltimore, Maryland. Please welcome Cara-Mel. Hello.
Hey, how are you, Allie? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. It's Friday.
Exactly. Fridays rock. Okay, so I want to hear all about you, but I just want to tell you, because obviously I listen to people's music before I decide if they're going to come on the show or whatever. I mean, usually it's always a yes, but I always listen. When I first listened to your music, I got two different bands that popped in my head. One was Salt and Pepper, and one was TLC. So we'll talk more about that as we go along, because then I read your bio and found Salt and Pepper is one of your influences. I was like, oh wow. So we'll talk about that as we go through the interview. But basically, Cara-Mel, tell me, like, when did you start doing this? When did you decide, you know what, this is what I want to do? And I know you didn't start off doing rap. You started off doing kind of like R&B, right? And the saxophone.
Yes, it's so funny. So basically, when growing up, I'm originally from Chesapeake, Virginia. So I'm not from Maryland exactly, but shout out to 757. I always have to say that. So basically, I started out as an R&B head. It may sound a little cliche, but I used to go for drives to North Carolina on the weekends with my parents, and they were always playing like Al Green and Stevie Wonder, and I was like, wow, this is like so amazing. But I was like 7 to 8 years old, just vibing to this, this music.
Mm-hmm.
So upfront music to me, like just that style of genre was just like so fascinating to me. So around like age 11, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start writing. I can write me a tune and stuff like that. So I started writing upbeat tempos, R&B tunes, and then I really started getting serious with it. Between 11 and 12, and then I took on the saxophone because my brother, he was playing the saxophone in high school, and we would go to like his marching band events and things like that. So he kind of put me on to like Najee and Kenny G, and so by the time I got to like fifth grade, I was able to pick an instrument, for band. I had to do like an elective. I was like, I want to be like my brother. I want to play the saxophone. So I started playing the alto sax in sixth grade.
Oh, Kenny G is one of my favorite artists. Just so you know, the saxophone, the saxophone does something to me. It just, I love it. Okay, so you became intrigued with Miami bass, right? Is it bass or bass?
Yep.
Bass is the fish. Okay, I'm tired. Down south in hip hop music, with influences like Luke, Salt and Pepper, Tupac, Lauryn Hill, Slick Rick, a Tribe Called Quest, and 69 Boys. And that's kind of where, first, you got to go perform saxophone. Where did you go to perform that? And you came in third in your, where? I missed that. Now, where is it? Oh, yeah, here we go. So you went to play for the All City Band, and you were ranked third chair overall, playing the saxophone, right?
Right. So basically how that works. So back when I started band, sixth grade, my first year, which I didn't know what the heck was all state band, all city band. And so basically, it's based on the different schools and like your different averages and things like that. Because we would get tested just because we were also just playing in a band and learning an instrument. It was also about technique and style. And so we would get tested like every few weeks just to make sure that we are learning the curriculum properly and so forth. So I was pretty much, I'm not bragging or nothing like that, but majority of the time it was between me and this other boy. That we would always, it was me, RJ, it was this other guy, Jeff, so we would always be going back and forth, so, but majority of the time, I did beat the guys, I'm going to say that, girl power, because I was first chair majority of the time that year.
Awesome!
And if they're out there and they hear me, I know they're going to say something.
That is so cool.
But it's true. It's facts.
It's facts. Okay, so...
So all city basically, then you go around and the actual teachers get to pick who are the top students in each I guess instrument, as you want to say, like whether it's the flute, the drums, whatever. And so they were based on that, based on your grades, based on your technique, your style, and your skill. You get placed in an all city band. You get to play actually for like your whole community. So yeah, my first year I was third all city in the whole city of Chesapeake that year.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so then that's when you became interested in all these other bands. And that's where your style of rhythmical writing took off, and you made it into your own career and started off as an indie artist.
Yes.
Now, I mean, all indie artists struggle with trying to get on a major label, and it's hard. I mean, I'm not an artist. I don't know. I just know from talking to people. So after years of trying to get on with a major label, you kind of just gave up.
Yeah, I mean, of course, like, while you're in high school and things like that, you can, my parents was to the point where it's time for you to go to college or you need to get a job or do, you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, back then I really didn't have a lot of support when it came to doing music. It was more of like, oh, it's a hobby type of thing, but eventually, you got to get a real job or you need to go to college and get a degree. And that's how my family kind of was at the time in reference to that.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much, and also too, I got tired. It is very challenging. There has been a couple of times like where it was like almost there, but every time something would fall through,
mm-hmm.
And I never understood at the time. There was a couple of R&B groups that my friends and I formed, and I also had formed with other people. And we would get, we would get almost there where we would be in the studio. We had proper management, even for this last time, prior to me going solo as a rap artist. And, things just fell through. People wasn't taking it seriously. So, eventually after the last time, I was just like, you know what, forget it. It's time for me to do, something solo.
Mm-hmm.
I tried for a couple of years. And then, nothing was happening, And then also, it's different when you don't have like that support system.
Mm-hmm. Definitely,
it
yeah.
It does make a difference. And I don't know if you ever heard that from other indie artists.
Oh God, yeah.
You gotta have the proper, support system, family, friends, something.
You do.
And that's very important. So pretty much, I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna stop. Let me go ahead and, focus on school more and get this degree and go ahead and get a 9 to 5. And so that's, and I always said, okay, God, if I'm into this music, then I guess it'll be your time and, when you want me to do it. So, yeah, I actually gave up music back in like 2003.
And you know what? You're not the first artist that I heard has done that and then decided, you know what? I want to do this. I'm coming back. And once you hung up your microphone, you spent time working as a special education teacher and also in fitness. And you're still in fitness, right?
Right. So, yeah. So, my original degree is in developmental disabilities. So, I actually worked into the special education field, and I taught for almost like, a little over like almost 8 years. And, that was very awarding. It's very, very rewarding to me,
mm-hmm.
and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I wanted to do something different. So, and I always loved fitness and exercise and things like that. So I actually went to like Northern Virginia Community College and got my certification originally through them. And from there, I've been doing fitness since 2005.
Wow. And you started a health and wellness business in 2008, which became very successful throughout the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area for about 5 years. And then during the mid-2013 economic slowdown and the federal government's sequestration,
Yeah.
there we go, good Lord, cutbacks forced you to close the family business. And that led to, like, not just the sudden loss of income, but also the foreclosure on your home and filing for bankruptcy.
Yes, and it's one of those things where it's like it's first off it's like a shock to the system,
Yeah.
You're successful and you have things going and you try to do the right things, And pretty much things turned for the worse. And yeah, it got to the point, honestly, where for me and my family, I was no longer paying myself,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I was making sure that my staff was taken care of and things like that. And it was just one of those tough times in my life where I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can appreciate that storm, so to speak, because
Mm-hmm.
I did make it through.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like I said, I learned a lot. It's a life lesson, and I know how to go forward to not be able to, so I won't be in that situation ever again.
Exactly. And I mean, it makes you stronger. Everything that you go through makes you stronger. Um, Now, as you were attempting to get back on your feet, you were hit with another blow. You were diagnosed with, I'm going to say this wrong, I know it, ductal carcinoma in site 2, which is
Yes.
DCIS. Oh, I said it right?
Yep, you
Yay!
said it right.
I
That's
said it
right.
right.
CCIS for sure. Yes, sir, that's correct.
And it's considered the earliest form of breast cancer, correct?
Yes, and that actually was a little shock to me because once when they say how the saying goes, when it rains it pours.
Yeah.
So us going through the whole process of the bankruptcy, the foreclosure, all this, and then we finally not we're still going through that was going through that process at the time, and we were transitioning, you know um, during that situation, I just didn't something wasn't right. And as you could probably say this too and vouch for me. Women know their bodies.
Oh God, yeah,
we
yeah,
know
we know.
our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And so in late summer of 2015, um, I actually went to the doctor because it didn't feel right. I didn't feel I knew something was going on, and so originally the doctor thought it was something else like precancerous cells maybe or something of that nature where they would just monitor it. But when they actually did the biopsy and everything, they realized that it was DCIS. And basically, yes, DCIS is like a non-invasive cancer,
Mm-hmm.
which thank goodness that means that it's still abnormal cells, and it's like found in the lining of the breast milk duct.
Okay.
But it has not spread. So luckily, I went when I did because had I waited, like when I'm 40, like they advise women to go to do their first mammogram,
Yeah.
it would have been a totally different story. And so I'm just glad that I went. It was caught in time, and it was, now it's all about just early prevention and keeping healthy now.
Yeah.
And I tell women all the time, please don't skip your mammograms. If you feel something that's not right, go get a mammogram.
Definitely.
But definitely, yes. So that was definitely a scary point in my life, and it took me. Because they had found it so early. Luckily for me, I didn't have to go through all the serious treatment.
Mm-hmm.
I did have to get a lumpectomy and then a second lumpectomy the following month when they realized that I actually had forms of cancer in that particular breast area. But other than that, it's just it's a process getting back together and getting in order.
Yeah.
And I've been good. I've been good ever since.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And not just to go get your mammogram, listen to your body. Always listen to your body, because you're right. Women know their body. Now, because this was devastating news, I mean, obviously there was, you always reflect when you go through hard times like that. I know when I was diagnosed with my disease, that was a lot of time was spent reflecting in what I want to do. And this is why Allie's Attic Show was born. And for you, it got you back into music.
Yes, it actually did. It was very unexpected, to be honest with you. It was like when you get diagnosed with certain things, it's just like, I don't know, it's like you start really reflecting, like you said, about your life and things that you regret not pursuing or doing. And it was just like a instant light switch clicked in my head. I was like, you know what? While I'm going through this process, writing has always been like a therapy for me, and music in general.
Mm-hmm.
I just started writing, and for me, that that was like how I got through um, my health issues and so forth. And like I said, so back in like 2015, I started writing, and after all those years, I started and I wrote my first verse in a long time to a song called I named later called Broke.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I finished that up in like in like no time. And I was talking to my husband. I was like, hey, I want to record, and he wrote a verse to it, and yeah, and that's how that song was born. That was my first song, like returning back to music.
well, I'm glad you did. And it placed you on the map where it caught the attention of DJ Sidereel from Minnesota and landed a spot on the Stamp of Approval mixtape Songbangers of the year in 2015. So
Right.
it was meant to be. It was meant to be, Cara-Mel.
I guess so. I guess God would say, "Hey, you've done enough resting. It's time for you to get back out there."
Exactly, exactly. Now, the song was written and recorded to reflect the frustrations of living check to check, and we've all been there. I mean, I'm still there, but we've all been
Right.
there, and it's frustrating, and it's hard, and it's very stressful. Um, so going back to the music scene for you, like you said, it's therapeutic for you, writing and music, and I believe that music should be all over the world and not TV, but that's my thing. So then you returned to the music scene after that. You released Back to the Grind, a sneak peek of what was to come from the highly anticipated debut mixtape Racial Profile. And that was released in September of 2016. And then, since then, your music's been placed on mixtapes such as Never Falling Off, hosted by by Society Movement, and DMV vs Everybody 3 versus Everybody 3 vs. Look at me. A popular DMV Music Plug local artist series. And you've also collaborated with several independent artists in various genres, from rock to pop, highlighting your versatility as an artist.
Yeah, so I don't never like to be placed in a box. Yes, hip hop and rap is my main thing, and R&B. However, I love other genres of music, and a lot of people don't know, but actually, as a teenager, I was actually classically trained, so I love opera.
Oh,
I love a lot
wow.
of different things.
Well, that's good. Every time I hear somebody saying, well, this is my genre, it's like, okay, you're putting yourself in a box, like you just said. That's why I don't just do musicians. I do every independent artist because I didn't want to be put in a box. So I'm glad that you decided to collaborate. And I think a lot of artists should collaborate. I think you learn a lot from other people and you get to experience different music genres.
Right, and I think it actually helps you grow as an artist as well. So I think, and also too, it shows your versatility. Like I said, as an artist, it shows that you can go outside of your genre. You can go do other things, and so that's one reason why I love to collaborate with other musicians from other genres.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, in addition to your versatility, your songwriting abilities, vocal training, music production, and saxophone talent, you're soon going to be holding a bachelor's degree in business management from the University of Maryland University College.
Yes, and I have 5 classes to go.
Yay! Yay! That's awesome. So, what are you going to do with your degree?
So, one thing I would like to do, like with my degree, is open a fitness studio in reference to like my health and wellness side, because I still enjoy fitness.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to take that plunge and do that. But I want to really cater to like special populations. I think there's a lack in that
Yes.
area or populations for fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And most importantly, also too, I want to do some type of entertainment organization. I'm actually working on some things now. So this degree will help me with like my Cara-Mel Couture clothing line, and also to creating a promotional and entertainment company as well. Because by me networking with other people, it's I'm learning a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I had to kind of figure out some things, as an indie artist, who's legit, who's not, and so forth. And so I would like to be able to collab with other indie artists and, do tours and shows and help them along the way,
Wow.
that side of music.
You're going to be a busy lady.
I'm a try. Look, I gotta put this degree to work.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I love the end of your bio. As you state, we as females should not feel the need to remove clothing, get hair weaves or implants just to get a record deal and make a sale. Let your music speak for itself.
Yes.
I love that. I was like, yeah, you go, girl. Now, you when you listen to your songs, you know it's you. I mean, there's no doubt about it. You have a very distinct voice. I mean, like I said, when I listened to you, Salt and Pepper popped into my head on one of the songs. TLC was kind of in there. But like I said, it's Cara-Mel. When you hear Cara-Mel, you know it's Cara-Mel. And I love that you're creating your own lane and you're a voice for the people, even not doing music, wanting to do fitness for, populations that don't have that available to them. So you're forging a path, and you're not just doing it for you, you're doing it for other people. And that's amazing in itself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now, because you've gone through everything you've gone through, Cara-Mel, and now that you're back in music, if you had any kind of advice to give an artist, what kind of advice do you think you would give them based on everything that you've gone through? Like, because good Lord, woman, you've gone through a lot.
I know, right? You know what? And goodness gracious, I could do like a speech, but I would say this, and this is very important. Always stay true to yourself. Integrity is everything. Don't ever, ever, ever jeopardize your integrity just to, get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I can say, to tell an artist. When it's your time, it's going to come. And just remember that.
That's great advice, because I know a lot of artists are very impatient and they want it yesterday, and they've got to realize that it takes time. And I love that you say stay true to yourself. I know we were talking before the interview, and I said, the reason I love supporting indie artists is the variety in music. Whereas if you listen to Top 40, it's hard to decipher who is who, because everybody sounds the same. And that's the label telling them, this is selling, so you have to sound like this. So I love that you said stay true to yourself, because I think that's a big deal. And it will get you further than, following the pack kind of deal. Now, what two songs are we going to hear from you, Cara-Mel?
So you're going to hear Getaway.
Mm-hmm.
So Getaway pretty much is like a song that basically talks about, even though you're going through your ups and downs, you still can get back up, throw out the old, get rid of that baggage, and bring positive, energy into your life and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And the other song is Queen. And Queen is basically, simply put, a woman of empowerment type of song. It's a woman's anthem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's for everyone that, that want to celebrate the strong women in their lives.
And it's a great song. I absolutely love it.
Well, thank you.
That's the song that reminded me of Salt and Pepper. And then Try Away, when it first started, TLC popped into my head. They're both amazing songs. I love Queen just because it is a woman empowerment song. Just so everybody knows. Now, you can purchase your music everywhere that people purchase their music online nowadays, as well as people can go to your website, which is cara-mel.com. That'll be up on my website. People can click on it, go directly to your website, find out more about you. Anything new happens, like, please come back on the show or get a hold of me. And besides even that, just let me know how you're doing in life and everything, just because, you've gone through so much, and I just want to know how you're doing. But thank you for coming on my show, and thank you for sharing your story about everything. I totally appreciate it. And I think the more people share, the more other people realize, what, other people have gone through it, but they've risen from the occasion and they're still going strong. And that's exactly what you're doing. And hats off to you for doing that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thank you for coming on my show.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic Show. Keep checking my website, because you never know what kind of surprise you're going to find in my attic. Cheers.